Hi everyone, I am Lauren Mello, President of the Naples Area Board of Realtors. I am proud to say that NABOR has been serving members over 70 years. We provide MLS tools and services, legal resources, political advocacy, market statistics, an array of educational opportunities. NABOR also has a long tradition of giving back to our community. The Naples Area Board of Realtors is a good example of how associations guide and protect their members, as well as make their communities a better place to live and work. Thank you.
We are community service. We are continuing education. We are resources to help your business. We are about our members. We are Orlando Regional Realtor Association.
There will be baseball, rock concerts, and yes, even large gatherings. One thing is for sure, life will eventually be back to normal. In the meantime, we want you to know that we're here for you. From your friends and family at the Broward, Palm Beaches, and St. Lucie Realtors.
What if I told you that a home buyer browsing properties online is most likely to work with the first agent they speak to? I bet you'd make sure you're responding to leads as quickly as possible, right? So, what if it could be done for you with Success Assurance from Boomtown? Acting as an extension of your team, our trained lead concierges will respond to your leads 24/7 in as little as 90 seconds and nurture them for up to a year. Communication begins and ends with a real person in real time, in the real world. For real. And Success Assurance isn't just one concierge. It's a symphony of trained professionals engaging your leads around the clock. Follow the conversations live and chime in whenever you want. You'll be notified of every qualification, and your lead concierge can even schedule appointments for you. With Success Assurance, you can do it all. without having to do it all. So start turning what ifs into done deals with Success Assurance from Boomtown. Any questions?
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and yes, even TikTok, video marketing opportunities are everywhere. Video expert and Realtor Tim Macy shares proven strategies and video concepts you can produce today. He takes the fluff out of video and gets right to the things that work. Get ready to grow your business by expanding your online audience. Here is Tim Macy.
Wow, that's a pretty cool intro for a virtual conference here. So Florida Realtors, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. And I want to start out by saying that I really miss being in person with people, right? Being in person at conferences like this. I was really looking forward to come see you guys, but we're here, we're doing it virtual, and that's awesome. So one thing though I do like is I like people to drive the conversation, right? Like I want to know what questions you have. And so as I'm talking, please, I've got the chat open on my screen and I want to get your questions. I want to hear what you guys have for thoughts, questions, and what you want to know about. But what I'm going to take you through today is something that I've been working on for a while. I've been watching so many different agents in our ecosystem and across the country doing different things. And what I want to talk to you today about is what I call the social media circle. See, I think one of the biggest questions that we have a lot of times with stuff is, how do all these things connect, right? Where is the best place to post different things? Like, how does it all work? What do I post here? What do I post there? And when we talk about video, there's very specific places to post things. And that's what I want to dive into. So I'm going to start out with YouTube. And the reason why I'm going to start out with YouTube is because of the fact that I believe that YouTube is one of the best places to get organic leads. It's one of the best places to get people that actually want to buy a house, right? I mean, how many of you guys have done online leads where you get in there, you start going and, you know, you get 200 leads and 2 of them are real leads. YouTube gets us to really good, solid leads. So let's start with that. The first thing on YouTube is, like I said, you're going to get organic leads that grow your audience. So this is a screenshot of my San Antonio pros versus cons video. You see, I put it out 4 months ago. I'm at 6,100 views. And on there, if you look at this video, you'll see people commenting that are actually interested in San Antonio, people that are interested in moving here. And this video does great for generating leads. So let's talk about YouTube and what the most important things are for YouTube. So first things first, when we're talking about YouTube video, you have to show up in the search, right? That's like the most important thing. Nobody's going to see your video if you don't pop up in search. And so I've got Malcolm's on here, Malcolm Lawson. If you search living in Maryland, 2 of Malcolm's videos pop up. And that's why he does well, is because he's getting his videos to pop up in search when people are searching for things that are pertinent to your market, right? So think about, people are going to be searching living in Tampa, right? Moving to Naples, living in Fort Lauderdale. What are the pros and cons of living in Fort Lauderdale? Cost of living in Fort Lauderdale. Those are the type of YouTube topics that are important to show up in search for people that are looking to buy houses in your market. Now, the next important thing about YouTube is getting people to click on your video. All right, like, you can pop up in search, but the most important thing is that people actually click on your video to watch it. And so one of the most important things for getting people to click on your video are going to be your thumbnail and your title of your video. So this is my friend Jeremy Knight. He's in the Austin market. He does fantastic on YouTube, generates a lot of buyer leads on YouTube. Honestly, I talked to him a couple days ago, and he said he's just overflowing with YouTube leads because he's been putting out a video every week. You can see right here, right? It says 1 day ago, 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. He's putting out a video every week that is relevant to somebody that's thinking about moving to Austin. And you can see his thumbnails, right? He's got these awesome thumbnails that look like, you know, something you would want to click on. I'm backing in and out of my presentation because the chat goes away, so I can't see if you guys are asking questions. But these thumbnails are so clickable. I mean, look at this one with Elon, right? He's talking about Elon's new Austin home with an arrow pointing to this castle. Like, of course, people are going to click on that and watch it. And so the second thing on YouTube is getting people to click on your video. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is going to be audience retention. Let's see here. So audience retention is the other thing that YouTube cares about. When we put videos on Facebook, right, or we put a video on Instagram or TikTok, right, these different platforms, most of the time people are going to watch it for 30 seconds if we're lucky. Maybe we can get somebody to watch it for a minute. But you can see my average view duration, which is the number on the top right there, is 5 minutes and 16 seconds on my pros and cons of San Antonio video. That's the average. That means a lot of people are watching it for longer than 5 minutes. YouTube is a great platform where people will watch your videos for a longer amount of time if you make them good and informative. Look, I've got 543 hours of watch time on one video. And so you can see my audience retention. This is a pretty good audience retention. You can see that at the start of the video, right, which is over here, people get on, they watch, and they drop off at the end. Like, this is what you want your audience retention to look like. You know, you want to make sure people are watching your whole video. If you see that people start your video and 20 seconds in, they may drop off and it goes to nothing, that's where you want to look at you know, what happened at 20 seconds into your video that caused all these people to leave. But, you know, that is your YouTube basics, okay, is you want to show up in search, make content that's relevant to people that are looking to buy a home in your neighborhood. And then you want to get people to click on it. We're talking about your thumbnail and your title. Honestly, I spend almost as much time making these perfect thumbnails that are really clickable as I do on the videos, right? The thumbnail and the title is so important. And then audience retention. We got to make sure people are watching the video. So if you guys have questions, let's drop them in. And let's see. If you got any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm going to go to the chat for questions, so drop some in there. If you guys have ever put a video, has anybody ever put a video on YouTube and had it not get any views? Has anybody ever put a video on YouTube, had it not get any views, and kind of wondered why? Is that a thing? All right, Andrea's raising her hand. Look, the thing with YouTube that people, I think, miss sometimes is that when you do YouTube, you have to make it for a specific audience. I made this mistake when I first started in YouTube, was that I was putting everything on there. I was putting listing videos on there. I was putting videos of my family on there. If you go to my channel, you'll see that I've got a ton of different types of videos. And that confuses YouTube. That confuses Google. What they want you to do is they want you to make it where people know what's on your channel, right? So you have to make your channel about a certain topic. And so if you look at good YouTube channels like Jeremy Knight's, they're all about buying houses in Austin. They're all relevant to people that want to buy houses in Austin. They're not really relevant to anything else other than people that are relocating to Austin. And so when you do YouTube, you have to have a very niche audience, super niche audience. The more direct your audience, then the less successful it's going to be. All right, couple questions. We've got one on thumbnails. I use Canva, but I'll tell you the real secret. The real secret is to go on Fiverr. Go on Fiverr.com and search YouTube thumbnails, and you're going to have a bunch of people that make YouTube thumbnails. And then all you do is you send them, you know, your picture, whatever pictures you need them to work with, and then you send them examples or an example of a thumbnail that you want, and they'll just copy it and make it just like that. So I spent a bunch of time on that first thumbnail that I did, and then after that, I just send them off to Fiverr and say, hey, make me a thumbnail that looks like this one. Ooh, I got another good question on here, which what if you can't think of an idea that hasn't been done before? That's a great YouTube question, and I've got a great answer. Don't worry about coming up with a new idea. If the pros and cons of living in San Antonio has been done like 20 or 30 times, you don't have to worry about copying an idea. You just have to make the best pros and cons video. Make a better pros and cons video with a better thumbnail. Don't worry about reinventing the wheel. Pros and cons of living in an area. Cost of living in an area. What's the weather really like in Fort Lauderdale? These are all YouTube videos that you could make. What's another one? Best schools in Fort Lauderdale, and those type of things. Like, don't overcomplicate coming up with ideas. You should be able to come up with a bunch of those ideas. Claudia's asking for names of people to follow. I mentioned Jeremy Knight. I would go over to his page. I would look at his page. Malcolm Lawson is another one. Malcolm Lawson and Jeremy Knight. But here's another tip that I'm very passionate about is don't tell realtors to subscribe to your page. You're trying to get your page going, right? And you'll post in a Facebook group. You'll say, hey, subscribe to my page. I'm trying to get more subscribers. Don't do that, because what you're doing is when you get more realtors to subscribe to your page, what you're telling YouTube is that you have a YouTube page for realtors. You don't want that. You want to make a realtor page for buyers, right? So if you go to Jeremy's page, you go to Malcolm's page, I would say go and peruse, but do not subscribe, because if you subscribe, you're hurting their page, because YouTube's going to think that for some reason Florida realtors are who Malcolm's page is for. So that is a big mistake that I see people make, is that they ask other agents to subscribe to their page, and then their YouTube search, all the organic stuff that YouTube will do, doesn't happen. Now, if you have a Facebook group, which we're going to talk about next, that has people that are interested in moving to your area, or people that are interested in buying a home in your area, that's where you want to push your page. You want to push your page to people that are your avatar, that are the person that you're looking to get in front of. That's who you want your YouTube page to be in front of. All right. How sophisticated and polished do YouTube videos need to be? The answer to that is not that polished at all. There's something about YouTube videos. People want to see the real you, right? They want to see a simple setup and you talking. It doesn't need to be very sophisticated. Like screenshots of pictures, you in your office, nothing crazy. Do not let sophistication get in your way of doing more YouTube videos. If everyone is done with YouTube questions, I am going to jump ahead to Facebook. Good editing app. Britta, everybody has this question, so I'm glad you asked it. What's a good editing app? I use Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro is a little bit higher end of a sophistication app, and you can also use iMovie if you have a Mac. But there's a ton of good ones out there. Adobe Rush is a good one. I believe there's one called Power Director, which is also a good one. So if you get out there, just get into some easy video apps to use. All right. Brittany brings up a great point when she talks about YouTube, and her 4-year-old son would watch someone open eggs filled with toys on YouTube. You're right. And the reason why I'm glad you brought that up is because so much of the time we get, when we're doing videos on other platforms, we have to entertain. When we're doing a video on Facebook, it's got to be entertaining because we're dealing with squirrels that are scrolling through a newsfeed. When you're doing a video on YouTube, it's somebody that's searching for the content that you're putting out. And so you have a lot more leniency. You can talk for 8 minutes about schools in your market because the person that's clicking that video wants to know about schools in your market, right? And so people put stupid stuff on YouTube that people watch a ton of. So know that your content on YouTube is good enough for people to watch. All right, let's jump into our next topic. So like I said, this is what I call the social media circle, how we're connecting all of the platforms to grow all of them. Now, the thing that I like to do is I like to push people from YouTube to Facebook. So if you go watch this video, I'll talk about it where, hey, you know, we asked our Facebook group, we went on our Facebook page and we talked about the pros and cons of living in San Antonio. I'm pushing people from YouTube to Facebook. And so if you make the pros and cons of living in Miami, you should end it with, hey, and if you want to get more connected, you should join our Facebook group, Moving to Miami, right? And so that's where we want to push people from YouTube to Facebook. Let me see. So when we talk about searchable video content is the gold on YouTube. In Facebook right now, the gold is groups. Now, I don't even do a ton on my Facebook business page anymore. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but when you post something on your Facebook business page, do you notice that it gets a lot less likes, right? It gets a lot less engagement than it did before, unless you spend a bunch of money boosting it. Facebook pages just don't get the same engagement as they used to. But what Facebook is putting a lot of preference toward, what Facebook is focusing on a lot, are Facebook groups. And so we as marketers should also be focusing on Facebook groups. So like I said, on YouTube, it's like if you make a video on YouTube, you should push people from that video to a Facebook group. So what are some ideas for Facebook groups? There are two different kind of Facebook groups you should make. You should make a Moving to Your Market group, Moving to Miami, right? That should be a group, or maybe even a more of a niche suburb. I think if you have a niche market, I think it's always good to go deeper, right, rather than wide. So make a Moving to group, and what you're going to do is you're going to take all of your clients that are relocating, you're going to put them in that group. You're going to take all those YouTube videos, you're going to push people to that group. Maybe you get online leads, you're going to say, hey, join our Facebook group, and you are going to cultivate this group of people that's interested in your market, right? And you can answer their questions. Now, I will say, note, don't let a bunch of real estate agents infiltrate your group, because if you get on some of these Move to groups, what you're going to find is every time somebody asks a question, 18 realtors comment with their information, right? You want to keep the agents out. You control the group. It's your group. And that way you can be the one that has the information. So push people from a YouTube video to a Moving to group. The other type of group that's absolute gold is your client group. So we have all of our clients in our Rock the House VIP group. We give that, we just put a Starbucks gift card in there because pumpkin spice lattes are here, right? We did plant giveaways. We do all sorts of stuff in there. We build a community of our clients in these VIP groups. And also when we talk about video, like if I do a listing video or I do some new video, I can share it in this group and say, hey, look at the cool new listing we got this new video we just did. Would you mind sharing it? Do you know anybody you think would be interested in? And after we've added so much value to these people in these groups, they're always looking to reciprocate, right? So people share our videos and they tell their friends about our videos and they do all that stuff for us because they're part of this VIP group, and it builds that really good connection. And honestly, a better connection than if we were like calling them on the phone all the time. So groups are gold. I want to open it up a little bit here. What do you guys have for questions on Facebook video and Facebook groups? Because I think there's a ton of value in there. And honestly, it's one of our best lead sources right now are Facebook groups and using those to generate referral business. Does anybody have a VIP group already, or does anybody have a Moving to group? What do you guys got? Drop it in the chat. I'm not really paying attention much to the Q&A. So let me ask you this. If you have 200 clients, right? Let's see. Issues with having groups in the same area. Michael, I'm glad you brought this up. There are probably a bunch of groups, right? There probably are already groups based on your area. My point is, though, you make your own that you control, because most of those groups are probably already infested with a bunch of agents, or they're owned by agents, right? Like a lot of agents already started those groups. So you make your own. And then what you do is you push people from YouTube to that. You have a link to your group specifically. You take a screenshot of what your group looks like and you put that on your YouTube video to make sure that people are getting directed to your group and not one of the other ones. You can also email leads. If you guys are spending money on online leads, right? Sometimes it's hard to get them to respond. It's hard to get them to do anything, but you can send them a link for your Facebook group where they can get more information on stuff. You may get them to join a group where they wouldn't respond to a text. So yes, there will be a bunch of groups already for moving to your area. I'm telling you, you can start and make your own and see a lot of benefit. All right, Jennifer asked, when boosting a post, can you select too many specific groups to target? What's best to get the best outcome? I'm going to tell you my opinion on boosting, and this isn't necessarily the right one. It's just mine. When you're looking at audiences, the best audience for me are engagement audiences. The best audiences for me are people that have engaged with my content and my page. If you want to boost just openly to a wide group and narrow down an audience, I mean, you can kind of go down a rabbit hole there. But what I want to do is I want to make content that's shareable and that people engage with, right? So if I make a great video, like we just did one with my daughter, because everybody's homeschooling, she's home from school, so I took her out and made it look like that she made the listing video, right? So it's like Alice makes her first listing video. That's where that's Alice right there, the diva. It's like she makes her a couple thousand views, bunch of people loved it, took off, they saw it. Now I'd rather retarget the audience that watched that video with one of my real estate ads than just a cold audience, right? And that's what you usually get with the targeting. So if I were you, Jennifer, I would look at engagement audiences. How do you target engagement audiences? FB algorithm push you down if you add YouTube and competitor sites to your page. You are correct, Megan. Megan asked, I've read that FB algorithms push you down if you add YouTube and competitor sites to your page. So this goes back to stop sharing your YouTube videos on Facebook, because Facebook wants you to stay on Facebook. It doesn't want you going to YouTube. So you don't want to put your YouTube videos on Facebook much. The only time I would do that is if, say you made your group, right? You made your group, which was moving to Miami. And then somebody commented, where are the best schools in Miami? That's where I would link my YouTube video that says best schools in Miami, right? That's where I would be putting my YouTube videos. Somebody that's obviously interested in it, they're going to click it and they're going to watch it for a long amount of time. Because if you do just post that up, what happens? People click on it, they watch it for 3 seconds, your audience retention goes down. Overall, you're not doing as well. All right. How often should you post on your FB groups page? That's a great question. You can do a lot on your Facebook group page, but remember, if you go to my page right now, that's a little exercise. If you go to my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, type in Tim Macy, it should be pretty easy to find. I did this pumpkin spice latte post today, right? Because pumpkin spice lattes are out. And I'm at like 400 likes or something ridiculous, right? It took off. Everybody's comments on it. Everybody loves it. Here's the deal. The next thing I post, Facebook's going to give me some juice because they're like, oh, this guy posts things that people engage with. And so the question for how much should you post, you should post every time you have something that you think is really engaging, right? So like pumpkin spice lattes are engaging. Like what's going on in your community, that's engaging. That's when you should post. Think about like, will people comment on this, like it, and share it? Like, will they comment on it, like it, and share it? That's what your thing should be. If you don't think they will, I wouldn't post it. If you do think they will, then post it. And that could be twice a day, that could be twice a week. But really think about your engagement. And when it comes to your groups, you want to get your, like, cultivating a group is like cultivating like a work team, right? Like you want to get other people contributing too, right? You want to build the culture of the group. So we have a group I'm going to talk about at the end called RETV, which is just a real estate video group, and it's done really well over the last couple of years. One of the big things is like in our group, we have a culture of, no selling, no recruiting, no spam, only real estate video. That's all. And it forms a culture of, okay, like what this group is about. Let me go back to my thing here and show you. If you look at Rock House Realty Group, VIP group, you can see my group rules. You have to have group rules if you're going to make a Facebook group, which is have fun, keep it drama free, no politics, no spam, dad jokes encouraged, right? Like that pretty much tells you like kind of what the vibe of our group is. So you have to make sure you keep good culture in your group. Yes, exactly. John brings up an amazing point. He checked out Move to FB page. They've got a bunch of new listings with 0 comments. So essentially he's got a dead page in his area, and you can make a better page. All right, anybody else got Facebook questions before we move on to Instagram? Going once, going twice, going to the bathroom if you need to. You're at home, you can do whatever you want, apparently. And we're moving on. Let's do it. All right, so let's talk about our next thing, which is the next thing we're going to talk about is pushing to Instagram. Now, Facebook and Instagram, I'm sure most of you know Facebook owns Instagram, but you can think about it like, groups being the gold for Facebook. Instagram is where people follow your journey, right? Like I go show houses and I see ugly green countertops, or I see an alligator eating a bird. I don't know. I'm just making things up top of my head. Like I may not post all that on Facebook, but Instagram is where people are going to follow the journey. They're going to follow your journey. So you want to push people from Facebook and say, hey, check out what we're doing over on Instagram. The other thing is you can set your Instagram, right, your Instagram stories to also post to Facebook. And what will happen is, as I'm scrolling through stories on Facebook, I'll say, oh, geez, I didn't notice I wasn't following Sarah on Instagram, and I'll go find her on Instagram and I'll follow her there. So use Facebook to drive traffic to your Instagram for people to follow you there. I've got Krista and Aaron Farr up. They're out of Spokane, way out on the West Coast, but I love what they do with their Instagram because you can see they've got their little story categories here, right? They've got one for book reviews, family, reviews, core values. Like they've got all this different stuff. They've got, the houses that go under contract. They've got interesting facts up there. They really do a good job with putting out good content in their feed and following their journey on Instagram. So the next thing I want to talk about is stories, because stories, I'm all about engagement. If I can engage my audience will send me business. Can we say that again? If I engage my audience will send me business. If I engage my audience will send me business. That's what all this is about. How do you grow your audience and then engage your audience so they'll send you business? I got a Q&A. Let's see. Does this pop up? So when we talk about engagement, stories are the best place to do it. I've got Trey Serrano up here, Trey Serrano Realtor. He's also in San Antonio. And right now, I think he does a better job of engaging with people in stories than I've seen anybody else do. What he's doing is he's always looking for the option to ask people a question, right? Would you pay $400K for this house? Yes or no, right? People put no way. And then on the next story, he puts, what if it was on just over 4 acres? Now he's got 73% yes, 27% still no, right? So it's not like he's posting one engaging story. He's bringing you along these different stories. So he'll start with this, but what if it was this? But then what if it had a pool, and then he's got a picture of the pool, and he's giving you these opportunities to engage with his story. Because let me tell you something, everybody wants to give you their opinion, right? Like everybody wants to tell you whether they like something or not. And so it's on you to give them that opportunity to do that. So let's pull out here. Let's see, what do we got? All right. How can I transfer from Facebook to Instagram? Jeremy, if you can give me a little bit more context around that. I'm not sure. Let's see. I got 3 questions. Posts on personal versus business page. That's a good question, and it's a question we get all the time. Look, business page, if you post something on your business page, less people are going to see it unless you pay for it. If you post on your business page, less people are going to see it unless you pay for it. So I'm big on making sure you build up that personal page, right? Build up that personal page with your clients, with your friends, with your realtor connections that send you business. Make sure everybody's on that personal page. Make sure that personal page is public. Make sure you're not posting anything on there that you wouldn't want to be public, right? And make that personal page your story, people watching the movie of your life, right? And then your business page, I would have more of like the just listed, just sold pictures. I'd have my listing videos, and I'd have the real estate stuff. But if you're just banking on building a business page on Facebook, then you're just not, you're not going to get the organic business that you can get just because Facebook's pay to play, right? They want you to pay to boost your business. And so somebody else asked, can't you just post on both? You can. Sure. Like you can definitely post on both, but I would be cognizant of what you're posting on your personal page. Like I usually only post something on my personal page if I know people are going to love it, right? Because I don't want to like get spammy with people and have them, stop following me because all I post is real estate. And so, it's like a good mix, a good, healthy mix of stuff on my personal page. On the business page, it's pretty much just going to be all real estate. So you can just, post all of your ads, all of your just listeds, all of your just solds, all of your listing videos, market update, and all that stuff. When you get a really good one, I would take it and share it to your personal page. And then we got to ask, is it best to merge your personal and business page? No, because your business page still has tools like boosting posts and some different things that you want to be able to use. So you should have one. I'm just not as big on it anymore. What about tagging your personal page from your business page post? Man, you guys are just bringing the good questions. I love it. Jennifer, I've already done the test, so I'll just give you the results. But if you want to try this, go ahead and try it. Post something organically from your personal page. See what it gets for likes, see what it gets for comments, all that fun stuff. Tag your personal page in something from your business page, or share it, do that and see what it gets. I can tell you right now, posting organically to your personal page is going to get more organic traction. It's just, when you share something from another page, less people like it, less people comment on it. Facebook shows it to less people. I don't know why. And so that's kind of where that's at. And I am going to get moving here onto our next topic. So give me 1 second. Keep dropping those questions. Ooh, how can this work for teams? I think you should have a team business page, but your job as a team leader, in my opinion, when we're talking about social media, your job as a team leader should be making all of your agents social media stars, right? Like the agents on my team, I'm trying to figure out, how do I make them me? How do I make them social media influencers like I am? God, I don't even like using that word, but it is what it is. That is what it is. How do you make your agents influencers? That's what your job as a team leader, in my opinion, should be. All right. So gamify Instagram stories. I want to move on from this, but when it comes to Instagram, gamifying stories, what I mean by that is like making your stories a game, right? Like bringing people through a journey, asking people a question. What do you think about some neighborhood, right? Like, what do you think is the best thing about blank neighborhood? Ask people questions, get engagement. All right, so Instagram is following the journey. And from Instagram, I like to push people to YouTube because Instagram is just a good place to be able to put in a story. Hey, we just put up another YouTube video, right? Instagram is a place where you can take a clip from your YouTube video and you can put it into your Instagram story or into your Instagram feed and say, hey, go check out our YouTube page. And then we've also got in here link in bio. So you can put your link to your YouTube channel in your Instagram profile and say, hey, like, you know, go check out the video. Link is in the bio. So Instagram is a great place to push people to YouTube from. Sorry, I'm like a little distracted as I'm trying to make sure I'm doing the Zoom and the presentation and all that other stuff right and still hit the chat. This is it's a fun one to say the least. All right, so that somewhat completes what I call the social media circle. Taking people from YouTube. Look, if you're going to spend any time on anything and you really want to dial into something that's going to get you leads and really invest a lot of time in something, YouTube is the best place to do it. It's competitive. You have to do it well. But if you crack the code and you put in the work and you do the videos, you're going to get a lot of new organic leads. Okay. And then, you know, like I said, Facebook groups are the gold on Facebook. We're staying in front of our clients and everybody on Facebook in such a meaningful way that we get a lot more referral business. I can just tell you, we just have been getting more calls from our clients since we've been posting things in that VIP group. So make a VIP group. There's like making a moving to group is a challenge. It is going to take some time. It is going to take an investment. But every single person should have a VIP group for their clients where they send them Starbucks gift cards, you know, and like giveaways, whatever. Just like have a place to love on your clients in a Facebook group because it's honestly just easier than calling them, right? Like it's easier than calling them and trying to, you know, have a conversation with them. Just give them stuff, add value to them. Imagine if you took all the money you spent on online leads and instead just spent it on your clients. Do you think you'd have better or worse leads that come from that? I can tell you we have better. I don't like online leads. I'm not a big fan of them. I love referrals, and that's what this does. One thing on Instagram I wanted to take note of too is close friends on Instagram. There is a close friends setting on your Instagram stories where you can allocate just a certain amount of people that see those stories. That is your VIP group that's from Facebook. So what you can do is, and we just did it today with our Starbucks barcode, we just gave it to our close friends on Instagram. So tell me this, if your client is going through Instagram stories and they're going through, you know, you're showing a house, you know, you're showing another house, and then they see a story that's just for your close friends. Can you imagine how that builds that connection? Like, wow, Tim thinks I'm his close friend. Like I thought he was just my realtor, right? Like that is a gem that I don't think many people are doing with Instagram. So, all right, let's hit some questions. Business or personal Instagram? Business Instagram does not allow you to use music for stories or reel. Eddie, it's a great question. Honestly, it's one that I battle with all the time because I have a business Instagram and I always think about changing it back. What you said are pretty good reasons for doing one or the other. Andrea, you asked the question that I've been waiting for somebody to ask, which is what about TikTok, right? And I kind of redid this whole talk because of what's happened with TikTok in the past couple weeks. And so TikTok, for me, if we look at our circle again, is going to be up at the top where we're pushing people from YouTube or from Instagram to TikTok and from Facebook to TikTok. See, TikTok is easy to download the content that you want to make, and you can just post it on Instagram and post it on Facebook. Now, what the genius thing that TikTok does is it puts your TikTok, like, it watermarks your TikTok video with your handle. So people will see your handle and they'll go to TikTok to follow you. And so you can grow your TikTok audience by posting your stuff on Instagram and Facebook. But I would think about going to Instagram Reels and not doing much TikTok. That's why it's so small up here. Because just with everything that's going on, I think that Instagram Reels may be a better place to play. And if you don't know that, give it a Google. It's pretty much Facebook and Instagram's way of trying to take over and stop TikTok. But TikTok, same thing. You push people to your YouTube videos. And so you put together a quick bam, 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 bam highlight of your YouTube video that's, 20 seconds long. And then you say, check out the full video on YouTube. That's a great way to drive traffic to your YouTube. And let me say something about TikTok. If you're not good at TikTok, don't do it. You're just going to waste time. And when we look at this stuff as agents, we have to figure out, where do we want to spend time? What are we going to spend time on? Do I have time to do this? Do I have time to do that? It's a lot of work. And TikTok is good if you're good at it. All right. So like luxury listings, right? Like amazing, beautiful listings to some cool music, that does well on TikTok. Something really funny and catchy does well on TikTok. But you just like walking through your house and showing off a listing is going to get 0 views on TikTok and is a waste of your time. So I would dive into TikTok if you feel like you kind of get it and you're going to make funny videos on TikTok. And then from there, I would push people to your YouTube. Hope that makes sense here. All right, questions. Yeah, that's where Eddie, I was saying, I would hit Instagram Reels. I would dive into that. And look, when we're looking at different platforms, right? When we're looking at different things when it comes to these social media platforms, especially what you don't know about, like Reels, Instagram Reels is a new thing, right? It's a couple weeks old. They just started doing it. The best way to figure it out is to get in there and start looking at what other people are doing and start figuring out, like, okay, what is this? What do people do? And the only way you're going to figure that out is if you get into it and start doing it. I would say the same type of content that we talked about for TikTok will probably do well on Instagram Reels. And so I would do that. I would be looking at luxury listings, like really nice listings that people are going to share. I would be looking at, like running through real quick 3 things before you buy a house, boom, 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 and then have it to some good music or something. It's got to be quick. It's got to be really catchy and attention getting, because people are squirrels on TikTok and on Instagram Reels. So I would definitely keep that in mind as you're doing Reels content. All right, what else we got? How do I connect my IG stories to my Facebook page? That's a great question, Denise. I got another question too, like technical questions. I am going to say GTS, which is Google that stuff. Just Google it, YouTube it, right? Like how to connect, and you're going to find a lot better answers than I can walk you through personally. So I would jump on there and Google that stuff. Now we've got another 15 minutes. So let's talk about content. What do you guys want to know on content? Let's talk about YouTube. Like, what kind of videos do you want to make on YouTube? What from the stuff that we talked about do you think are the things that you're going to take action on? What, I gave you 4 or 5 different things. What is it that you want to take action on? What is it that you want to dive in deeper on? Give me some questions in the chat. Secret sauce for engagement, more videos, pictures, surveys. So great question here. Engagement. If you go to my Facebook page, I think you'll start to see what I'm finding the secret sauce for engagement is on Facebook. If you go to my personal Facebook page, look, video is great. I love video. Video is my thing. But what I'm finding is a really good picture or a really good couple pictures with a heartfelt, real story for a post, right? Almost like a blog post, will do unbelievably for engagement. And so I did one of, my wife and my daughter as we're going out and looking at nice houses. Now the house was beautiful, so I knew it'd make for some great pictures. I took my cool kid camera with me, right? Like I took my nice camera with me because I knew I was going to get some pictures. And then I just posted about how, we have Alice with us while she's homeschooling, and that this is a family business and that we do it as a family. We treat our clients like family. I wrote this nice heartfelt post with these beautiful pictures, and it was like 200 likes, right? Tons of comments. So secret sauce for engagement on Facebook isn't actually video. Right now, I would say it's really good images with a good post, and try it. Like anything I'm saying, I just want you to try it and give it a shot. Yes, thank you. That's my great uncle Fred's Vietnam flag from behind me there. How often would you mix in funny blooper videos to serious content? Megan, me personally, I just love funny blooper video content all the time. I mean, look, it depends on you. What we always say, my biggest kind of mantra for anything is that your vibe attracts your tribe, right? Like I'm outgoing, I'm fun. I rarely have a collared shirt on, right? I'm usually always in a t-shirt and shorts out there meeting my clients. Like that's how I roll. And so my videos project that. My content shows that. And so, my question for how often would you mix in funny and serious content, Megan, would be, how often are you funny and serious, right? Like what's your personal rhythm, and your social media rhythm should match that. That way you're attracting the business that you want to work with. Top 3 elements for good videos. I hope you guys are taking some notes on this stuff. I'm not just rambling. Let me give you the top 3, which we already went through on YouTube, but I want to make sure you guys understand it. The top 3 most important things for YouTube are getting your video to pop up in search, right? And then getting people to click on your video, and then audience retention. If you do that, your videos will organically grow and thousands of people will watch them for years to come. That's the thing about YouTube. I put that pros and cons video up 4 months ago, and that video is going to keep getting watched for years. 2 years from now, people are still going to be watching that video. People are not going to be watching my Facebook videos from 2 years ago, right? So that's why YouTube is such gold, and that is getting it to pop up in search, getting people to click on it, and audience retention. For Facebook, the number one thing for Facebook is what we call the scroll stopper, right? What do you do in those first 3 to 5 seconds of your Facebook video to get people to stop scrolling? And so my last listing video, I had my mask on, which is just like a thing, right? People are going to stop right now. It's a social topic. And my daughter is holding the camera rig, right? Like that is something that I know people are going to stop and watch. And so the most important thing for Facebook, Instagram is a scroll stopping shot to start with, your first 3 to 5 seconds. The big mistake I see people make is they put their logo up to start. You put like, Jessica Peters with Banana Properties to start your video. Like your first 3 to 5 seconds are your most important part of your video. Put your logo and your branding at the end. And I'm big on branding. Like I want you to brand, but remember, your video is coming from your profile. You don't need something in the corner with your name and your logo on it. People know who's putting the video out because it's on social media. It's coming from your profile. So make it scroll stopping, entertaining in the first couple seconds. The other thing that's more important now is the caption, is the post, is what you write in there. Because when you think about it, somebody's scrolling through their phone, they're stopping on your video, you put a scroll stopper on there, right? Which was like you jumping into the pool or something. Okay, so you got them to stop. What's going to get them to click on the video is what you've actually written in there as the caption, as the post. And so that's the next important thing for a Facebook video. Other than that, Facebook, I'd say high energy, hit them fast, hit them hard. When I do a listing video, I'm not doing a listing video to show off the house. I'm doing a listing video to get people interested enough in it that they'll go to the website and look at the house. So the goal of your listing video shouldn't be to show the entire house. It should be able to tease people enough that they go to the website to look at the house so you can get their information, so you can remarket them, so you can close deals. Cool. All right, what else we got? Give me some more questions here. We got 9 minutes to fill. What about TikTok? I touch on TikTok, like I said, like with all the crazy politics around it, I'm not pushing people to TikTok too much. And, you know, I see it's just changed over the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I know, I see Brittany posting about it. They made the title when we started this, I don't know, 6-7 months ago, when it was a completely different world than it is today. And we stuck with the topic. But again, TikTok should be catchy, funny, super entertaining, high energy stuff that has the opportunity to go viral. But TikTok's very algorithm heavy, meaning that like if you put out some bad TikToks that nobody watches, nobody's ever really going to watch it. But if you put out some like really good and catchy ones, TikTok will give you the opportunity to take off and get thousands of people to watch it. And so that's where I say on TikTok, like if you're good, do it. But as Michael was talking about, like when you look at how do you have time to manage all this stuff, if one was on the chopping block, I would take out TikTok unless you feel like you're really, that's really your thing. All right, business or personal. Sorry, I'm catching up on questions, making sure I don't miss anything. Hashtags to use to come up in YouTube search. So tags on YouTube are a thing where you can put in tags and those should tell YouTube what the search terms are that you're looking for to rank for. Now, there's some debate on how important tags are. Let me see if I can pull up my thing here. All right. So I use a tool called TubeBuddy. And what TubeBuddy allows me to do is it allows me to look at different metrics. So like this is my YouTube channel. And then if I come into my video, I have this cool tool called TubeBuddy, which will tell me, these are all my tags over here on the right. I don't know if you guys can see these, but TubeBuddy will tell me where I'm ranking on the search. And so if you do living in San Antonio, pros and cons, I'm the #1 video. If you do moving to San Antonio, pros and cons, I'm #2. So I'm doing okay on some of these search terms, but I use tags to kind of see how I'm ranking on search terms. But to pop up in search, what's important is your title and your description, right? So you can see San Antonio is in New York City. If you've been thinking about moving to San Antonio, then you should check it out. Living in San Antonio has been awesome for us. So I'm putting those key terms in my description to make sure that I pop up when people search for it. And also your thumbnails, as crazy as it sounds, there's an AI that looks at your thumbnail and tries to figure out what your video is about. And will also, put you on there if they think that your video is about real estate. Any recommendations for a microphone or other equipment? This is like the nice camera. This is a Sony A7 III. This thing's beautiful. You can do amazing things with it. I spent a lot of my early time up until like a year or two ago using a GoPro. Now, I like the GoPro 8 and the GoPro 7, the newer ones, because they have in-camera stabilization and the microphone on it is pretty good. So if you go to do a video, it stabilizes the video pretty good. The other thing that I've used a ton is the iPhone 11 Pro, just the new iPhone. The iPhones are unbelievable. So you can get a ton of good information from the iPhones. The other secret on iPhones, I left my phone so I won't be bothered during the presentation, is shoot your video selfie style like this, because the microphone on the front of your iPhone is actually really good. And so if I'm going out and recording audio for something, a lot of times I'll use that forward-facing camera, talk into the camera, and get good audio from that forward-facing microphone. Where can we get a recording of this session? That's a great question for somebody else, because I have no idea how any of this stuff works. Hashtags used, that's the one I answered. Come on, we got like 4 minutes. Give me some questions. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to plug myself. They told me I get a couple minutes at the end to promote myself. So I'm Tim. I talked for a while here, so I think you got to know me. We have a Facebook group called RETV. Oh, look, that's my admin group there. So we have a Facebook group called RETV, and it's all about real estate video. And, you know, it's just people doing different stuff with real estate. You can get a bunch of, oh, there's my pumpkin spice picture. You can get a lot of great ideas here, a lot of great feedback. And so if I was going to push you anywhere to take action on something, go join our Facebook group, and then put somewhere in the questions that you saw it on our talk today. But that's going to be an awesome place to get great questions from a bunch of super creative real estate people from across the country. And Sharon, you're very welcome. I'm not only am I upset, my daughter's upset that we missed Disney World this year. We're excited though for Florida to open back up and to get back to being how awesome Florida is. We're going to Disney in December. We can only put it off so long. We have to come to Disney World. We love Disney World, and we love Florida. So thank you guys all for having me, and I'd like to come back next year. So oh, and fill out the survey. There's a survey, and if you like me, you should tell people I did a good job, because this whole thing's weird. Like, it's kind of interesting. Like, I can't talk to you guys and find out how you like it. I've got to wait for the survey. Thanks, everybody.